Cutters, Degrassi, Unpopular Opinions. Hey there, Heather. Ho there, it's Jeff Cutter Diamond. Welcome you to another Cutter, Degrassi, Unpopular Opinion. I'm getting close to number 200, which is amazing. But yeah, this is number 186 in the list. So anyway, I did a Reddit poll 10 days ago, and for context, it's being taped on February 20th, 2023. Well, it's being taped on a double holiday. Canada, we have Family Day. It's a statutory holiday, and the United States is President's Day. So anyway, I put unpopular opinion. The episode with Hazel trying to hide her Jamaican heritage is underrated. I said, listen, in season 2, Degrassi did an episode called Don't Believe the Hype, in which the grade 9s were tasked with doing stuff based on their ancestries. Paige wearing a low-cut Ukrainian dress. Jimmy doing something, I can't remember Jimmy's. Spitter tried to make a new food with different cultures in it and not knowing his true roots. Raj in that kilt thingy, yes, it was a thing. And of course, the main plot of Hazel pretending to be Jamaican to hide her Somalian roots and dealing with an Iraqi girl by the name of Fariza and insulting her heritage on multiple occasions. Anyway, so yeah, that's it. The episode is underrated for the following reasons, and I put 6 of them. It finally got a background character, in this case Hazel, a main plot point as she struggles to reveal her true identity of being Somalian and being targeted for her heritage. Some people still struggle with that rhetoric nowadays. Like I'll explain everything why it's underrated and then get to the comments. Number 2 is it showcased different cultures. What Degrassi did at times with that notion wasn't going to please everyone. Because, when you try to pursue different cultures, you have two sides of the coin. Number 3, it was shown roughly 15 months after 9/11 at a time when anti-Muslim rhetoric was at an all-time high. Plus, it showed different classes having discussions on hate. I love Kendra's rhetoric about her being Chinese but adopted by whites. Discussions can be useful at times. Just saying. Number 4, the subplot about JT being a sewing genius but trying to hide it for fear of embarrassment and stereotypical behavior that men can't do these type of things. Imagine how this plot would be received in 2023, much less 2003. Fariza being one of, if not, the best one-episode character in Degrassi history. And point 6, Radix in that kill. Okay, the image sucks, but this was one of a handful of times he was bearable, aka before Fight for Your Right. Alright, so here's the context. So, Don't Believe the Hype. It's when Hazel and Paige, Hazel and Paige's clique, talk to Fariza, and Hazel hands Fariza a fashion ticket for that thing, for her hijab. And Paige says, you've gone too far, Hazel, when even I'm offended because, Paige is queen bee status. So, anyway, JT, the subplot had JT doing so well in sewing because his mom's a seamstress, Talent sometimes gets passed down, so he's good. So Liberty tries to get JT because she's in love with him and says that, JT will help Liberty with her projects. Unfortunately, though, I guess guilt and all that led Liberty to out JT as the sewing genius. Everyone laughs at JT, including Sean and Toby. But in the end, Emma, Manny, and a few other girls wanted to they sew dresses and skirts for them. And, JT says it'll be $25, but I gotta take measurements and all that. And leave Sean and Toby's jaws just unhinged. That was a good subplot. So anyway, yeah, I talked about subplot. But the main plot was when it's International Day and Hazel doesn't know what to do. She thinks she's Jamaican, but Fariza tells her she should be Somalian because Ardennes. And Hazel says, I hope Jamaica doesn't bomb Iraq. And all that. So anyway, everyone puts on presentations page with that Ukrainian dress with pierogies and, Radish wearing a kilt. And I'm like, Radish wearing a kilt? Reals? So, yeah, Jimmy does something. I can't remember his heritage. Well, Snake wears a Swedish shirt because Stefan Brogan, who is the guy who plays Snake, is Swedish and all that. I think his real life mom actually was his mom on the show. If memory serves me right. Or his dad. I can't remember. But anyway, yeah, it was funny. And Spitter trying to find things out and make some kind of food. I can't remember what stuff he put in. I know he put Chinese stuff in it for Kendra. But anyway, yeah, so that episode happens. it's international date, and then they go for lunch and all that, and then all of a sudden Farisa's Iraqi thing gets spray painted with terrorist stuff and all that. And Hazel is fingered because Farisa, I think Hazel said the stuff about Farisa with the fashion police and saying Jamaica bombing some Iraq. Hazel says that it wasn't her because she was at lunch with the others. Fortunately for Radic, the police find a pair of grade 10 students were the culprits. So Hazel is exonerated, although Radic tells her to not say these things or anything. Words hurt in this truth. And Radic told Farisa she will do her Iraq presentation and she will make it in the front foyer and everyone will be forced to see it. Smart move. So anyway, Hazel offers to help Farisa because she feels guilty about it. And they talk about that Hazel is Somalian and that she got jumped by other girls at a different school. And Farisa says, wow, and you learned from them. So Hazel decides to do a media presentation and say about her Somalian heritage and all that. And Terry asks about the hijab and all that. And Hazel says, I wear it for prayers, but I'm at a position. I don't have to wear it at school. So everyone's okay with it. They clap and all that. Hazel did the right thing by, telling on herself and all that. And then, they were talking about the hate and all that. It's the discussions thing. So point one was about the background character. Yeah, it was weird seeing that, a character like Hazel got a main plot point. It would have been different if that was the subplot and the main plot was Liberty and JT because, they were the main characters. But no, Hazel was a background character, and it was nice to see it. Terry got some storylines, but I think Terry was a main character more so. Point two was about different cultures. Yeah, they talked about the different cultures. Degrassi did some stuff about the black culture, maybe stereotypic, doing the stuff with Jimmy being a jock and all that crap. The Syrian students coming in season in next class and all that about the hate bias and Syed saying stuff about that. Yeah, they don't do cultures that badly, but whatever. And then, one of the main points is it was shown 15 months after 9/11. I think in the States it was shown later than Canada, but 15 months is December 2003, 2. So yeah, December 2002, and I was still in high school. I was in grade 12. So yeah, it was huge that, they went there. I mean, a lot of shows did stuff about 9/11 like earlier than Degrassi, but Degrassi really did quite well. And then, you got yourself subplot 4 about JT being a sewing genius, and you know how femininity in men and people laugh at that. Sean and Toby laughed at it, but the joke was on them because JT was told to make skirts for the girls and would pay them. And it's like, oh my God, we got. Yes, Sean and Toby, you got. Yeah, I know how men are treated and all that. Doing feminine stuff and actually doing well at. I don't, a lot of men do that. They're called tailors. Men do that all the time. They're tailors. That's kind of the same thing as sewing, isn't it? And, Farisa being a one episode character. It's like, my God, how many characters were just in one episode? And just vanished. I think it was, that girl. What was that girl's name? I talked about it when I talked about the worst Degrassi episodes. Derek and Danny were chasing this girl from Lakehurst, and I think she was only one episode. But anyway, it doesn't matter. And, Raj got killed. Yeah, Raj had some decent moments, but after Fight for Your Right, I feel like he went downhill. Now, let's not forget the Fight for Your Right thing with the genetically modified foods. Emma is not blameless at all. I blame Emma a lot, and I blame Radic a lot. No, there were no clear-cut winners and all that. All right, so let's look at the comments. Someone said 100%. Well, someone said, totally agree. It was such a great episode, and I will never forget the writers for doing Hazel so dirty. She was a great friend and a great girlfriend, and deserved more than just to be a prop in other storylines. Right. Very much. Negative Rich said, definitely a good episode. I enjoy JT being a low-key genius with the sewing skills, and Paige telling Hazel she was even offended by her fashion police ticket for Farisa was memorable. Right. K-Win said, wow, I never actually put in perspective the time frame of when this episode aired. I forgot that it was that close to 9/11. So the reactions of everyone around, while inappropriate, make sense for the time period. I really like the episode, both A and B plot. Yep, and a lot of people said, well, B. Cohen said, this episode also showed that Hazel ended up becoming no better than her older oppressors with her terrorist chic line that Paige deemed too far. A lot of people like that. And all that. They set Hazel up and ignored her. Now, I'm not saying that people don't find that episode great. I just feel it's underrated because of all the reasons I listed. And the simple fact is that, it was actually groundbreaking getting Hazel her own episode, the whole timeline just being just after 9/11, about a year after that, and JT's B plot. It just makes so much sense. I say it's one of the most underrated episodes of all time. To me, I think it's underrated. Deal with it. Anyway, I'm Jeff Diamond. I do.